and welcome everyone to today's News Tonight, the weeknight news show where we're joined by special guests, our lovely patrons, and our awesome YouTube audience to discuss the day's gaming news. I'm your host, Derek Bittner, and I'm joined today by my good friends and GVG co-founders, Ash Paulson and Steve Bowling, along with our very good friend and special guest, returning guest, Yoshiller. How are you doing?
Hello, humans. I'm Yoshiller. It is an honor to be here again. I am flattered, and thank you for having me on.
Glad to have you back on. We said we wanted you back on, and we definitely we had to do it, and glad we could pull it off. How you been?
I've been okay. It's been up and down. Just trying to do what I can, keeping busy, working a lot. So much, in fact, if I may brag a little bit, I had to get myself a Fitbit so I can keep track of how much sleep I've been getting each night.
Nice.
But otherwise, I've been okay. I am in a fortunate situation. I am trying to get my life together, and I'm trying to just keep at it and do what I can.
Now, I did try to get you on the show last week, but when I asked, you actually had a Smash tournament. I got to ask, how'd you do?
I got washed, man. SoCal's too tough. It was 2 weeks ago. I went to the Smash
tournament. Oh my gosh, it was 2 weeks ago. Jeez, time flies.
Wow. So 2 weeks ago, I went to go compete. The Smash tournament is called MSM, Mega Smash Mondays. Right now, it's the biggest Smash tournament in SoCal, which means all the top SoCal players go to it, which means my chances of winning become more and more minimal the more people register for it. So I made it to the second round and then just got bodied by a wolf player. So it happens.
Yeah.
And the following week, I went back to MSM, this time as a commentator. So I commentated my first official Smash tournament. So that was a nice honor. And there's some parts where you look back and listen to it, and I stutter and I say some things, and people are going to say, Yoshiller, what the heck are you talking about? Nobody plays that character like that. There's a part where like, what do you think about adding more stages to Smash? And I'm like, I'm all for it. I want to legalize Halberd. And my commentator just looks at me and he's like, I respectfully disagree. I'm like, okay, well, yeah. And then I did not go this week just because I had some extra work I had to do. But it means I get to join you guys, and that's a-okay with me. So
it's a-okay with me as well.
Thank you.
Yeah. Dude, I might be asking you later on how you get to do your first official Smash commentating, because I love commentating Smash matches. I do it for fun with our patrons, and people tell me I'm pretty good at it anecdotally, and I'd love doing it. So I might get in touch with you and ask you how you get into that, because I'd love to do it myself.
Yeah, I mean, all it is you just ask somebody. They're trying to rotate in new commentators now. They want to see, this is the chance to see like who's going to be the next big guy, right? So they want to rotate two people out every week. So if you want to commentate, I can just ask them for you, and they'll be like, okay. So
sure,
there you go.
I'd love to. There you go. Yeah, I'd love to. Thanks, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
All right. Well, before we get too far into it, we do have our sponsor. As always, Mondays are sponsored by The Game Orb, who is a fledgling channel that has focused mostly on Nintendo content until recently. While they're running Let's Plays of Nintendo games like Splatoon 2 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, going forward, they're also covering games on the Xbox Series X like Portal Still Alive as part of a fresh daily upload schedule. So be sure to subscribe to The Game Orb at the link in the description, which, knowing Ash, he's already put into the chat as well.
Doing it right now.
And they're currently at 336 subscribers, only 14 away from 350, and we're working towards that. So continue to show them the GV Gang support, and of course they always want to show their promote their friends' YouTube channel, Galactic Reaper. And once again, you can find those links in the description. As always, Game Orb, thank you so much for your support.
Thank you.
It really does mean a lot. So thank you.
And the message is pinned, and so please go subscribe to both the Game Orb and Galactic Reaper and show them the GVG community's love. Thank you all so much. And of course, Game Orb, thank you a million times. Thank you.
Absolutely. Now, before we get too far into it, you might notice my shelf is a little blank this time. That's on purpose, because I had to make an event out of this because it's been a harrowing experience. I finally got it. The freaking thing finally arrived. The thing I did got from Square Enix, spent, how much money on the shipping so we could get the whole preview copy. And I see it arrived for Steve as well.
Yeah. Nice.
By the way, I kept the box. I'm going to have to hide things here and so I don't dox myself. But gotta love how it has on top here, time sensitive material, 6 days late. I'm glad they worked their butts off on this.
So what's
my
your
favorite thing about it is that they charged an exorbitant fee for shipping and got it to you late. I mean, I got mine like only a day or two before you, I think. So, I mean,
that's the Square Enix store for you.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
so what you're
late.
saying, Derek, is that the show ends with you because you need to go play it now. You need to go play your
Well, the thing is, because they were so late, I had to switch over to Great Ace Attorney. So this has to wait until I finish those 2 games before I can even get started on that. So hey, I'm enjoying Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, so I can't complain too much.
My wife and I started playing it over the weekend. We're still in the middle of the first case. I think we're getting toward the end of it. I mean, and I won't talk about it for long because we need to move on. But you and I are both huge Ace Attorney fans. You know how happy I am with this game. We're having so much fun. It is so good. It's so good.
It's good to be back.
It's
right?
so good. The LA police are coming to get me for hyping.
Oh God, you don't get too hyped. Your Discord will crash.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh goodness, but yes, I'm glad. I knew you would enjoy it. I'm looking forward to your reactions as it continues on. But again, before we get to the news, we do have 2 super chats. First up from Hyrulean1000 with a €10 donation saying finally booked Disney World for next year after it was canceled last year. It'll be our first time in America. How do I explain to my significant other that I'm more excited to try a Danimal than go to Disney? Oh my God.
I really don't know how
you will taste it, and your significant other will taste it. You'll taste it, and you'll be like, "Why is this a meme? Why is this a GVG meme?"
Right?
Well, we don't know.
Even if they're amazing, that's a good question to ask. But I will posit that trying Danimals, like the experience of trying Danimals for the first time, will kind of be a perfect analogy for your experience being in America for the first time. You might be excited to do it, but once you do, you will be very disappointed, and I'm very sorry.
That's a really good way to put it. Yep. Yeah.
You might find some good things, but I guarantee it's like, oh, this American thing, let me try it. Although apparently Europeans love Taco Bell, so I did not know that. I learned that from Did You Know Gaming.
I didn't know that either.
What does taste better though, Danimals or Mickey Mouse? Now, I've never wondered that before, but now I find myself wondering what actually does taste better, Disney or
there's some good alcohol if you go to the places that allow it. So go to Epcot. Oh man,
yeah.
If you're old, I'm assuming you're old enough if you're going across and you have a significant other and all that. But do you dare try the Drink Across the World in Epcot? The World Showcase.
For this. Come on. I have tried that, and it is difficult.
I love it.
I can imagine.
I have not tried that. I'm curious about it, though. There has to be something called the Mickey Martini, right? I just feel like that's...
I don't think there is. But
man, come on.
You can't
the Mickey and Minnie Martini.
A Mickey Martini, you drink so much after you're done drinking it, your voice becomes all high-pitched because you can't drink anymore.
I'm drunk. It's the door to the light, Sora. Wow, this just
fun with your trip
direction.
next year. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Next up is Crean Saffron 623 with a $2 donation saying, "You guys are the best. Oh, just lost your dad. I am so sorry."
Wow.
I am.
That was a mood whiplash. I'm like,
oh,
thank you. Then I read the second part, like, oh no, I am so sorry. That is awful.
You are the best too, Queen Saffron. And special shout outs to you. You have been an especially vocal supporter and fan of both my dad and I with like stuff like Game That Tune, and the fact that you support us here as well. It means the world to us. So we aren't the best. You're the best. And we're so sorry about your loss. We're really sorry. And thank you so much for your support.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm really sorry to hear that. That sucks. I hope you feel better soon, but honestly, these things take time.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna take some time. So just take your time. That's I think that's the big thing there. So
exactly.
Sorry. All right. Storysmith with a $19.99 donation. Thank you so much for that massive donation, saying, "Yo, Steve, just caught the VOD of Friday stream today, and the custom robo came up in the conversation and how you liked the GameCube game. But did you know there was a DS game called Custom Robo Arena? It's also super good."
I did know about it, but it came out at a time in my life where I was just broke. So I've never played it. I missed that 2 DS games that I missed. I'll make this real quick. That game and the DS Goemon game that has like a really cool, like almost Okami-like art style to it.
I had no idea that was a thing.
Yeah, it looks amazing. I've never played it, but it's way high on my list of games that I have to get for the DS that I just haven't played yet. So.
Now, it looked like you actually played Custom Robo Arena, Yoshiller. Thoughts?
I have played it. Yeah, I actually own the custom robo on the N64 as well. It was a series that I was trying to get into, so I bought a bunch of them. Ironically, I don't own the one they localized on the GameCube, but yeah, I tried the N64 one and I tried the DS one. And if I'm not mistaken, the DS one's entirely 2D, if I recall correctly. So it's not exactly like the previous custom robo games, but they're cool. I'd be interested in giving that franchise another chance, and I think now that I'm older and am more appreciative of game design and am also trying to practice Japanese, that might actually be a good game for me to try again. But try it, and I think it was okay. But I don't know how it stacks up to other games of that style.
I don't want to go off on too much of a tangent, but I do want to say, how did that not become a Toys to Life thing for Nintendo?
I know, right?
And I just thought of this.
Amazing.
Like, that would be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Either way. 2 more donations real quick before we move on. So C Wingsion with a £2 donation saying, was up late, so I thought I'd pop in and say hi. Hello to you.
Hello.
And Hyrulean 1000 with a €5 donation, once again saying, I'm 26. We decided to eat around Epcot instead, as we don't really drink, That's still a good time.
Yeah, man.
There's some good food in there.
I've been to Disney World like 5 or 6 times in my life, just fortunately, because like my old job a long time ago used to do a yearly trip to Disney World, and so I would extend out my vacation and stay there.
Lucky.
And almost all the food at Disney World is awesome. Like, if it's in the shape of Mickey, it's probably really good. And I don't know why that's a rule, but like everything they have that they shape into Mickey,
it can't taint the brand.
Pretty much. They're like, it has to be top notch. It's Mickey Mouse shaped.
Mm-hmm.
People love tasting me.
Oh God.
Sorry, I had to.
Okay. Moving on from that. Let's go ahead and get our first story.
It's a Monday. Gotta get some laughs in there.
Yeah, true. All right, our first story is Team ASOBI, ASOBI, I don't know how you actually pronounce that, launches ASOBI, has launched their official websites. Crazy, they don't actually have that yet, and have teased their next game in development, which they say is their most ambitious yet. This comes from Gamatsu, and if you're not aware, ASOBI is the ones who made Astrobot, first Rescue Mission, and then Playroom. So what's the over-under on this actually being Astrobot again and just giving him a full-blown game?
I'd say it's a good bet.
I hope that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like a pretty safe bet. I sure hope so. I would play a full-sized Astro game that isn't in PSVR because I don't have that yet in a second. I loved Astro's Playroom to death. I loved it, and I want more. That's the only bad part of that game is that it ends, and I want more of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead, Yoshiller. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, if it's going to be their most ambitious game yet, then that obviously means it's something beyond a tech demo. Whether or not it's VR, I can't say for certain. I'm going to assume that it is, because it looks like the most recent games they've worked on have been VR related. But if it is their most ambitious game yet, that leads me to believe that it's a full-blown, full-on, probably $60 game, but the entire thing is VR. Just like a full-on AAA budget title that happens to be VR. That's my speculation based on my quick glance at this article and the history of this company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could see that. I personally think that this is... I think Yoshiller's onto something. We know PSVR 2 is a thing. We know that that's coming, and we know that PlayStation loves to tap Team ASOBI for essentially like their own takes on Wii Sports, if you will, like games that illustrate the value proposition of their new hardware. They did it with the PSVR 1. They did it with the PS5. And so it makes sense that they'd be on the PSVR 2. But I'm going to say that given the fact that they were recently acquired by Sony and that this is... I'm going to bet that this is actually just a full-on Astro platformer, like a full-size game, because the response to Astro's Playroom was so good. I can't think of anybody that didn't at least like that game.
Yeah. Did you pull off getting a PS5 yet, Yoshiller?
No. I have not even tried.
Okay.
I might get a Steam Deck, but I'm not in the market to get a PS5 right now.
Oh, you're not? Okay.
Fair enough.
I'm afraid not. But
yeah.
Oh, you know what? Adudo with an important correction in the chat says they were Ash's hype. Ash got too hyped thinking about it.
You got too unhyped.
Says they were always owned by Sony. It's just that they're now part of their own studio instead of being part of Sony Japan. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, I thought that they were external and got purchased.
That was my understanding too.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Ash is
there you go.
back.
I'm back.
Ash.
I don't know. Discord did its thing again. I thought my internet had died again. I don't know what it is with my life right now.
Yeah, I mean,
Here now. That's
Oh well. At least it was only momentary.
Yeah.
They are growing though, because it also mentioned here in Gamatsu that they're hiring for 13 positions in gameplay programming, game design, engine, art, and audio. So they are expanding quite a bit. And I'm curious what they're going to come up with, because I could be something new. That'd be awesome. If it's another Astrobot thing that just expands upon what Playroom did, heck yeah, let's do it. Have them jump
I'm just
across.
glad they're doing something. Ever since Sony shuttered Japan Studio, and it just seemed like so many of their weird, unique, wacky Japanese IPs were kind of going just bye. It's just nice to see that this studio is doing something and has something in development, because I love first party PlayStation titles, but as we've said in recent episodes, they're doubling down so much on Western AAA titles and Japanese AAA, but it's just like that's not the only thing I want from PlayStation. I don't just want AAA stuff, I like their kind of more experimental, weirder stuff. And it seems like Team ASOBI is going to be who carries on that torch for PlayStation.
I'll be honest, I'd kind of love if they took the idea that they had for Playroom, with them going through the internals of the PlayStation 5 and kind of expand upon that and have them do like Astrobot in the PS1 era, PS2 era, PS3 era, have 5 worlds doing those different eras and showing how they've kind of evolved, and maybe still have those cameos from the other games and whatnot. I don't know. I'd love to see something like that, but I'm down for this. They have the potential of a cute mascot character here that's sort of their own with Astrobot. So we'll see if they can.
Yeah, totally
really
agree.
keep going. So cool. Well, let's go ahead and move on. But before we do that, Chibi J in the chat and with a super chat, saying with a $5 donation. Thank you so much. Can't talk. Said, wanted to donate for a change. Always love listening to you guys during work. Keep giving off those good vibes. We'll do our best. We're
trying. Will. Thank you. Yep.
Yeah.
Even on Mondays, we'll do our best to bring good vibes.
You know what brings good vibes? This audio clip. At least I know it brings a certain John Cartwright good vibes. So let's go ahead and bring up this.
That was
good segue.
Well done.
Thank you.
Nice.
So, the Halo multiplayer beta has been going on right now for those who own the Series X or S, and I've heard nothing but good things. Granted, I've mostly heard from John, but I think overall I have heard generally that this is really, really good, this multiplayer beta. It feels like an expansion of Halo 3 and a step forward from that, and just feels great. I have not played Halo in a very long time, but John is a huge Halo fan, and really really all about that. So apparently it's all good. And in addition to that, an audio clip has been discovered by data miners showing that the Halo multiplayer announcer says Battle Royale, which a Battle Royale mode with Halo that's free as part of Game Pass. Yeah, that could do well. That could push some Game Pass, especially if the game's good. And with Activision not looking so good now with their Warzone, all of a sudden Microsoft swooping in with Halo, like OG for FPS. This might be good for them.
Yeah. So
I mean,
one thing I want to point out is that I'm like the only person that didn't get into this thing. I tried to get access to this. It's like a technical test. It's a weird. I think you can. I didn't get to play it, so I don't know the full details. But from what I understand, because I was jealously hate reading a bunch of articles about it, is that it wasn't so much like traditional multiplayer. It was playing against bots, I think. Players would team up and then play a team of bots. And but from what I hear, it was super cool. Like everything else I've heard is amazing. But yeah, I definitely I wanted to get in, but you had to be like a Halo Waypoint Insider, which I didn't even know was a thing. Like, I was like, oh, because they have
Yeah.
Xbox Insider, which gets you betas to everything but Halo, I guess.
And so the Halo Insider is separate?
Yeah, it is.
It's weird.
And so
Okay.
I saw somebody posted on Twitter that they were playing Halo Infinite. And I was like, dude, what? And I went to my Xbox and turned it on. And I was like, where is it? And it wasn't there. And so I found out there's a whole other website and a whole other membership you have to sign up for. It's free, but I never thought like, oh man, I'm going to go sign up for individual insider programs for franchises. So apparently that's a thing. And I just didn't make it through the door early enough, I guess, or whatever. They're like, we'll keep you in mind for future tests. And I'm like, everyone else in the world is playing Halo right now.
I'm not, because I don't have a series,
either.
But
say what?
I didn't know these were a thing either, Steve, but I can say as a proud member of Mediatonic's Board of Beans that insider programs like this are a thing, because I got an email to join the Fall Guys Board of Beans to provide insider feedback and all that
wow.
stuff. But prior to that, I know, I love that it's just called that. But prior to that, I didn't really know that these were actively a thing. And that sucks for you, though. Of all people, you should have gotten to play.
I love Halo.
You should have gotten to play.
I'm not a John level fan, but I am a fan. And I was like so excited to try it. Especially because I had like 2 chances at success. I thought for sure I was going to get in because they're like, oh, well, if you have a really good computer. And I was like, check, it's right there. And then they're like, and if you have a Series X. And I was like, check, it's right there. I'm in. And they're like, no, just kidding. We don't want you. So
it must not be named Steve. Damn it.
I know. They're like, no Steve Bowling's allowed.
Yeah, exactly. Do you play Halo, Yoshiller?
So a long time ago, I guess we're still friends. I just haven't chatted with him in a while. I have a friend named Pelt, and I went to his house one day because we had a day off from school, and we just played Halo for like 90% of the day, and it was pretty fantastic, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So since that day, I've always had a bit of respect for Halo. I've not followed the plot or the lore or anything like that, but I always appreciate just that simplistic, sci-fi-ish shooter element.
Yeah.
So when I hear people say that they're still enjoying Halo to this day, that just kind of makes me happy inside. So to then also hear that they're considering a Battle Royale mode to Halo, I'm just like, yeah, why the heck not, right? People love team-based games, people love free-for-all games, and then in today's day and age, people love Battle Royale games. And I know we've seen a wave with Battle Royales, namely due to Fortnite and PUBG. But to do that in a franchise as iconic as Halo, I think is just a win-win situation, especially if it just comes with the fact that you have Game Pass. So if they really want Halo to continue being the big, super successful shooter IP that it is, the IP that everyone thinks of when people think of Microsoft, I see it as only a good thing. It's gonna suck if this gets data mined and it's not a real thing. It's like, oh yeah, we were considering a Battle Royale, but we didn't have time to program it, and that's just gonna lead to a PR disaster. Right. But it seems believable that they would want to do a Battle Royale, and to me, I only see that as a win. So that's my input on it.
It does sound like a lot of fun having a giant map with, the Halo tank, the Halo Warthog, the Halo Ghost, the Halo, I forget what the flying one is.
Banshee.
Banshee, thank you. All those flying around with all these other players, like that's some fun chaos there. I'd love to see what they pulled off with that.
Back in the day in Halo 2, I used to load up. I would just take the position of like Warthog driver, and I would fill it up with people from my own team, and then I would just drive us off a cliff. I'd be like,
I was gonna say, in the few times that I played Halo, I was always just the driver because I wasn't good at shooting. So I was like, just get in the car and you guys do the work.
That would be me.
See, my whole thing when we played Capture the Flag in Halo 1, it would literally be like it was the Blood Gulch. I just jump in the Warthog, drive straight into the opening, jump out, grab the flag, back up, and just try to get out of there. Do a smash and grab as quick as possible. Nice. It was either that or trying stealth. Neither worked too often.
I'm confused, man. You said the chaos is fun, but I thought we were supposed to kill chaos. Isn't that the point? I thought.
Nah, no? we can't do that. Just
okay.
in Halo, you have to become chaos.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay.
Oh boy, but it's good to hear. It's good to see that opinions have turned around on Infinite, and I'm very curious because without Horizon, things are looking a little bare for Sony. But before all this, before the fall, it was looking pretty bare for the Series X. So it's almost like, okay, Sony, you get the first 2 quarters. Xbox, you get this last 2 quarters. Go.
It is kind of a nice dichotomy, because I found that, in the first half of this year so far, I've barely used my Series X. I would like to use it, but there just hasn't been a lot to play on there. But I'm excited for Halo Infinite and then Forza Horizon. I mean, those are going to keep me busy at the end of this year. So I'm really excited for that. It'll be nice to actually get some time in with Xbox Series X games that make use of the hardware, which I feel like I've been waiting for a while.
Right.
Cool. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on to our third story, where we got a better idea of direction. I don't know. So we've discovered who is directing the Dead Space remake, which turns out to be the director of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. A person by the name of, hold on, Eric Baptizat. I'm going to say it.
Yeah,
he's from Ubisoft, so it's French. So it's
so probably like Baptizat or something.
Baptizat.
Yeah.
But he previously worked at Ubisoft for 16 years, most notably as the director of Valhalla and the lead designer for other Assassin's Creed game entries like Origins and Black Flag. All those I've heard really good things about. But he is going to be the new director of Dead Space over at EA. Meanwhile, according to this article by VGC, says the most senior development figure on the Dead Space remake, other than Baptizat, is another Ubisoft veteran, the creative director Roman Campos Oriola, who joined from Ubisoft Montreal last year, where he was the creative director for For Honor and the lead designer of Ghost Recon Future Soldier and Red Steel 1 and 2. So a little bit of idea of all that, of how all that's going. The art director of the Dead Space remake is Mike Yazijan, who actually worked on the art for Dead Space 2. So at least the art design is going to fit it. I don't know if these two guys that don't really seem to have more military and Assassin's Creed backgrounds working on a horror game. I don't know how that's going to transfer, but...
Yeah, let alone a horror game set in space versus a prehistoric assassin-based game set on Earth. It's different, but I guess that's where your talents truly shine, right? Is working on vastly different projects.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I'm familiar with. Yeah, I'm only familiar with Dead Space because I edited the completionist episode of it, and it seems like a cool enough game. And I'm glad. I'm always going to be in favor of remakes, games being more accessible. I don't know enough about these specific Assassin's Creed games. I was just speaking with some friends before I came into this call, and they told me that Valhalla, while it got good reviews, they never hear anybody talk about it. They said a lot of people picked up the game and kind of set the game down. Nobody really thinks highly of it like they might with the original Assassin's Creed games. So I don't know if that's a testament to the directorial prowess that is Eric Baptizat, but I hope that good things come out of it. I know Assassin's Creed is Ubisoft's like AAA big money-making franchise. And then For Honor is another case where that's a game that Ubisoft had a huge market push for. And I know that when it first came out, people played it and enjoyed it. And then my understanding, and I might be wrong, is that it kind of fell off. Like, it didn't catch on as big as Ubisoft wanted it to. So I don't think it's a testament to it being a bad game as much as it is just not supporting it in the way that Ubisoft was supposed to support it. All this to say, I think that the guy who was directing Dead Space remake has just been in some unfortunate projects, and this might be his proper time to shine with a game that a lot of people seem to be anticipating.
Yeah, so... I've played quite a bit of Valhalla and For Honor. I was actually one of the first people to preview it. And I do think that... I don't think they're bad games at all. I actually think Valhalla is a fantastic game. But I think what happened with that game is that franchise fatigue kind of set in on fans of the series. I've been playing Assassin's Creed since the original, and I picked up Valhalla and I was like, man, this game rocks. I love it. But that's a lot of game to play. I'm like, that's a big game, and I just don't have the time. And I every now and then, like every few months, I'll pick it back up and I'll play a little bit more, and I'm like, man, I really like this game. I should finish it. And then I put it down and I play something else. And so I would say that I feel like there is some truth to the idea that he's just been involved with some unfortunate projects insofar as he made good games that just maybe came out at the wrong time.
I think it's a better way of putting it. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Well, as Fantasy Thinker fan in our YouTube chat says, Valhalla was impressive, but super bloated. I hear very few people finished it, and that's not the first time I've heard that. I've heard that Valhalla, as good as it is, really just might have too much content, and that kind of sounds like what you're saying, Steve, despite how good the game itself is. But it does sound as though Dead Space is hopefully in good hands, because you guys know I'm a big survival horror fan, and the original Dead Space was great. So I'm really hoping that this is done justice.
Yeah, I think the issues that Valhalla has are kind of endemic to the Assassin's Creed franchise as a whole at this point. I mean, they're kind of the poster boy for open worlds with just ridiculously overpopulated maps. They're like, here's 900 icons and a legend.
Make it bigger.
Yeah. This isn't the first Assassin's Creed game that's had that problem. So I'm sure that at some point someone at Ubisoft is like, yeah, you need like more towers, bro. Make them climb more things.
I burned out by Assassin's Creed 3. I don't know how you hung in so long, Steve, because I got through the Ezio trilogy and I'm like, I started on 3. I'm like, I think I'm done. I just
honestly,
can't do it.
And this is like the weirdest sentence that I'll probably ever say on this show. Wii U release hype carried me through Assassin's Creed 3.
Oh, sure.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, Assassin's Creed on a Nintendo console. And I played through the whole thing, and then I put it down. I was like, that game kind of sucked. And then they're like, Assassin's Creed 4 is out. It's like, all right, let's do it again.
Yeah. Which I heard was good, but it was also like, I'm so dedicated. Like, I gotta see what happened before to go in there, because it was a continuous story up to that point with 1 through 3. And now it's like, well, what's happening now? Why do I need to do this? But apparently they've really cut back on the modern day stuff.
Valhalla brings it back, which is one of my favorite things about it. But I will say Assassin's Creed 4 is one that people really love, and Ubisoft, but it is the first game in the series that really isn't an Assassin's Creed game. Like, they were like, we want to make a game about pirates, but how are we going to sell it? And then they're like, call it an Assassin's Creed, just do that. And they're like, put the pirate in a hood, it'll be fine. Because it is 100% not an Assassin's Creed game by the rules of the franchise up to that point. And then people wanted the rest of the games to be that. They're like, oh man, we really like pirate games. So Ubisoft,
isn't that how they got into trouble with that whole? Yeah, that's the Jet Set with Skull and Bones. That's how they did that sort of spin-off of that.
Yep.
And then they've been working on for basically ever since Black Flag, and it still hasn't come out.
Yeah, it's been 8 years that they've been trying to make that work, and it's really weird to me because they clearly made it, and then bolted Assassin's Creed onto it, and now they're like, we don't know how to unfuse these things anymore. They're stuck together forever.
Oh, go ahead, Derek.
I was going to say, I know it's probably an old hat thing, and a lot of people have mentioned this before, but how have they not had an Assassin's Creed set in Japan yet?
I just had this conversation like a week ago.
So weird.
I had this exact
everybody's had this conversation, but like, they went to freaking America where there's nothing to climb in the 1700s. It's like, why?
And I feel like that would be so popularly received. I feel like I've heard that. Yeah.
I will argue that game did come out and it was popularly received, and it was called Ghost of Tsushima.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, I was about to say Sekiro, but yeah, Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, fair enough.
That too.
Right.
Which comes out again in 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Right.
Oh, right. Derek, just because I know we're about to talk about a mobile game developer just doing something really stupid that is pissing people off, I do want to point out in our YouTube chat, Neozon is talking about a mobile company doing some good vibes things, and that is that T-Mobile has apparently stopped sponsoring Call of Duty Warzone and Overwatch League in response to the Activision Blizzard shit.
Well done.
So,
dang.
good on T-Mobile, and that's my carrier, so that makes me extra happy. Nice. Good on T-Mobile.
I'm of that. Okay, what I do want to say before we move on to the next story, then, as long as the Dead Space remake has Z-Ball, I think we're in good hands. That's all I wanted to say. I think we're good.
Nice. I like it. Before we move on, though, we do have one other thing. Majora Z with a super chat, $10 super chat. Thank you so much for that. Saying a lot of Halo Infinite is to try to appeal a huge segment of the Halo fan base who felt recent Halo games have strayed from the series' identity and is chasing trends. A Battle Royale mode may anger those fans. I have not seen too many people being against it. I think it's all about how it's implemented. I could see it angering fans,
right?
But I can also see it being pretty well received. I mean, it all depends on I guess how kit your Master Chief, kit your Spartan, or however that. I guess that's how they could get that kind of aspect in there. But I don't know. I guess you go one way or the other. I think right now they seem to be focusing on just getting core Halo Infinite multiplayer working, which, as far as I can tell from just opinions, seems like it's going well. Like they're getting back to the Halo 3 era, and we'll see if it actually hangs in there. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I think as long as it's not, I think as long as the Battle Royale mode doesn't come at the expense of regular multiplayer, and that it isn't, one doesn't affect the other, I think there's a much higher chance it'll be received.
Yeah. And to be fair, if we're talking about Halo and like some of the Battle Royale-ish elements that people don't like, some of those have been in Halo for a long time. Like Halo 5 had trading card packs that you could use to customize your Spartan. And,
yeah, but nobody liked Halo 5.
well, yeah, I'm just saying that if you're upset that those will be in there, they already were in there. But yeah, the only thing I'm really curious about, if they do a Battle Royale mode in the traditional sense with everyone's spread out over a map and it keeps shrinking and shrinking, what mechanic do they use to shrink the map? Like, what is it? Because in Fortnite, it's a storm. I don't know what it is in PUBG. I think
they're on the Halo ring and the ring is breaking apart.
That is cool.
Literally, they have the two sides and it's not big and open, but it just
See, that's cool.
That'd be cool.
I'm down for that. Like you could almost recreate like the traditional Warthog escape sequence at the end of each game in Battle Royale. I'm down for that, man.
Another good suggestion, the flood, as people are mentioning. I've seen a lot of that in the patron chat.
See, though, I would want. I'm gonna throw out the Fortnite, what is now considered like an unpopular take. But if they did something with the flood, I would much rather have that be more akin to Fortnite's Save the World mode, where you have to build up defenses and then fend off waves and waves of enemies. I would personally, and I know I'm way in the minority on that one, I would like that. I would love to have something where I get to cooperate with a group of friends and we build a fort to defend against the flood.
Last you the night.
But yeah, either way, I think that Halo Infinite is in good hands. People have been showing, the gameplay that I've seen shows that, multiplayer is not only alive and well, traditional multiplayer, but that they really seem to have taken a lot more types of gamers into account with this one. I saw Tim Geddes, who has been on the show, posted a video of, he was using, the left analog stick on his controller and then a mouse as, his in place of his right stick and triggers. I was like, that's really cool. And he was playing it on a 31 by 9 inch widescreen. It was ridiculous, his setup.
Wow.
It was so far out of what anyone would normally play on, and it worked. So
nice.
All right then, cool. All right, well, let's go ahead and move on to our next story, which, as Ash mentioned, is all about mobile game making dumb decisions. So, Niantic has moved forward with the removal of their safety features in Pokemon GO. Basically, during the pandemic, since people couldn't really leave the house or really go places, they, I think, doubled the distance that you needed to be close to Pokestops or gyms or what have you, which was a really popular move. People could keep playing Pokemon Go, and it actually did, from what I understand, pretty well over the course of the pandemic. And even in a nice bonus, it was really nice for disabled gamers, and they were able to actually get out and do more with the game. But with the pandemic being over, hello Delta.
It's over, right?
Yeah,
obviously.
They're like, okay, we're taking it away now. We're removing it. And that's after a big campaign of people wanting to do that. And actually, in response, there's a lot of fans out there, including Joe Merrick of Cerebi, who have pledged that they'll keep playing, but they're not going to spend any money on the game until this gets reversed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the play here. If I'm not playing Pokemon Go anymore, but if I was, I certainly would be doing the same thing. I would pledge not to spend any money on it. Probably for me, even play it until they reverse this, because this is it's just bad all around. Why would you do this in the middle of a pandemic, and really at all if it's better for accessibility? And accessibility is always always objectively a great thing, as we've talked about here on the show.
And all of a sudden, that's more people spending money.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Exactly. Like, that's just so gross.
It is like a weirdly I mean, it's not just an anti-consumer. It feels like an anti-business move. Like, let's make it harder for people to play our game for reasons. Also, let's ignore the fact that, you know, most states are rolling back the repeal of mask mandates and stuff like that. Like, we're going backwards with this pandemic, not forward at this point. And they're like, now's a great time to just reopen shop the way it was before. Probably not. I don't know. Call me crazy.
It hurts their reputation, and that's going to go a long way because Niantic's reputation has kind of been wavering as is. I still play Pokemon Go. I just did Go Fest like 2-3 weeks ago. I put some money toward that. I figured, why the heck not? That's what I'm doing today, right? It was great. I had a fun time, and I saw the reports after the fact that said Niantic made like millions, maybe even billions of dollars across 2 days. That's absurd to me, okay? And then I guess they decided, we're not making enough money. Let's go ahead and force people to buy more things to try and make it so they can continue playing our mobile game. I used to give Niantic credit for pivoting their game during the pandemic. They added remote raid passes, you can invite your friends to raids, they added all this stuff just to make it so accessible for people to play their game in the middle of a pandemic. And while some of those features are still there, I don't get why they would even want to take anything away. All it does is hurt the game. I don't know why they would sit there and be like, oh, you know, this feature that everyone seemed to like, we could probably squeeze a few extra bucks out of them if we removed it. I don't get it. They clearly took the time to program elements of increased distance, making it more accessible to invite friends to your raids, being able to catch certain Pokemon with ease. Like, maybe it's just me. I feel like they increased the spawn rates or they increased the rates in which rare Pokemon would spawn. I don't know why they'd want to be opposed to all of that. So the unfortunate thing is, I still play the game because I use it for my career. I compete. I am a big Pokemon fanatic. But yeah, I don't plan on putting any more money into it. And until Niantic changes their ways, there might come a day where I stop playing the game altogether too. We'll see. I just completed my Pokemon Home Pokedex, so there really isn't much of a reason for me to need to play Pokemon Go anymore. But I guess we'll see what Niantic does. But if nothing else, it hurts their reputation, and that might not matter now, but it's going to hurt them in the long run. So.
Yeah, because they've tried to do other games, and they just they had Harry Potter. That did not work. And I think they've been working on something else. I guess they
had an original IP before Pokemon Go, and I think people went and played it after Pokemon Go came out. But I don't know how well that game's doing right now.
Yeah, and I think they're working on Pikmin, so they might have that. But again, if they're tanking their reputation, it doesn't matter what they put out. It's just Pokemon's their cash cow.
64 in the chat says they say, I believe the reason that they reserved this was reversed this was to encourage people to go into sponsored stops. I think it is dumb, and if that is the reason, then it just underscores what we've been saying about Activision Blizzard too. Money's the bottom line for these companies. They don't care about you. They don't care about access. Money's the bottom line, and I hope that's not the reason, but it sure wouldn't surprise me if it was. Sure.
I think it is. I think it is money, and even though it seems anti-consumer and anti-business, the truth of the matter is they feel like they can squeeze more money out of people. Why should we sell remote raid passes when we can force you to get up, go out, and spend money, and go to these places where you can advertise right in your face? It's just it's a bad look. If nothing else, it is a bad look. So
I should know the answer to this, but I just don't. Is Niantic based out of the U.S.? Like, where are they?
I'm fairly certain. I'll double check it right now, but I'm fairly certain they're an American company.
Out of the U.S.
I was going to say, I thought I heard they were from Jersey.
San Francisco.
Or something.
San Francisco, California.
Oh, San Francisco. Okay. So, wow, like, because some of our friends in the UK and our patron chat are mentioning, well, things here are pretty good. I saw Sci-Fi Lullabies mentioning in the chat, like, things are mostly back to normal where they're at. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, okay, well, maybe you could chalk this up to like a foreign company where the COVID situation is much better, but California, come on.
Yeah, I know.
No, it's just that whole thing is like, oh, it's over now. We can open up. Let's open. Like,
I mean, it is terrifying. It really is. Like, I live in a state that, I mean, turned blue in the last election, but really culturally isn't. And I haven't seen a mask on a person in months. Like, I feel weird. Like, at the beginning of the pandemic when I was wearing one and no one else was, I felt weird, like, going out in public. I'm like, people must think I'm crazy, like, And
now you think everybody else is crazy.
yeah, now I'm like, look at all these idiots out here. Like, I live in a state full of people that make no sense. Which is all of America, by the way. I can't remember who said they were visiting, but that is why I mean you'll be disappointed with us as people. But yeah,
it's a wild thing that who knows how it's actually going to go, but signs don't point to anything good.
Right. Yeah. And the thing, I mean, the thing I don't get, and I said this earlier when we started talking about this is such like a bad business decision on literally any front I can think of. Even just the we want money front. Like, in the interest of the business, it's a bad choice. Like, if you tell me, right, like, here are your options for playing our game and giving us money. One, you can get outside and walk a couple miles and then give us money. Or two, you can lay in bed and still give us your money. I'm like, man, I'm choosing option 2 every time, baby. Like, there's no option where I want to walk and then give you money if I have the ability to not do it. So I just, like, you should always give your consumers as many opportunities to give you their money as you are able. And so taking it away in the, like, I wish I understood the business rationale for it, because as a consumer, it makes no sense, like, at all. My wife got super into Pokemon Go during the pandemic, and she has stopped playing it. She's just like, oh, well, this is too hard now. And
yeah, I'll play it if I travel, because then I have the novelty of, oh, I caught this Pokemon while I was in Japan. Sure. But otherwise, I'm kind of falling out of it a bit too. I turn it on, do one quest a day to get my Stardust, and then I kind of put it away. So I don't mind, outright dismissing the game and not playing it again if it sends a message to Niantic, because I don't need Pokemon Go every day. I'm fine. Okay, I don't need Niantic like Niantic needs my money. All right, nope. I can give that up. I really only play it for novelty value now, and I think we have yet to see the worst of what Niantic could do. Because the second they get rid of remote raid passes, or the second they get rid of the option to invite your friends to raids, the second they get rid of anything else they added during the pandemic, that's when they're gonna start seeing some protests. Basically, right now we're just frustrated, but they're gonna see true anger as soon as they start removing more features. And I fear that this is just the start of it.
Let's hope not.
I kind of fell off.
We'll see.
I kind of fell off once they disabled all the trackers. Like, GPF spoofing, I get, shut that shit down. That's actual cheating, but I don't know. I had a good time using trackers to find Pokemon I didn't have, and then making the effort to go out and get those Pokemon, of course. But I just, it got to the point where I don't have enough time to just aimlessly wander, hoping I get something I don't already have.
I remember walking the streets and having, like, the tracker being like, okay, this way and this way. I just walking all around town looking like a mad person. Because you're going down these streets like, oh, it's this way. And just praying that it actually spawns. It's like, dang it, where are you? It felt like an actual hunt. It was cool. I understand, it's just the way it is, but I don't know. We'll see how they react. If they see all the people, like, all of a sudden they're spending drops because of this, I have a feeling they'll reverse the decision pretty quickly. But hopefully, I don't know. Maybe they'll be stubborn. Some people are stubborn. It happens.
Well, as Skullkid Tiger in our live audience patron chat says, this has been a little bit bad vibesy, right? So, okay, I need levity. What did the vinaigrette say to the fridge? Close the door. I'm dressing. I love it. I love it. Oh, wow. I love my dad jokes. God. I love my dad jokes.
Wow.
Fair enough.
Nice. All right. Well, we'll see what Niantic ends up doing, but I don't know. It really could go either way, it feels. Yeah. In the meantime, though, we did get some more super chats. First up from AxeCon with a $5 donation saying, thanks, Steve, for introducing me to No More Heroes. These games are so fun and unique.
Nice.
Playing through 2 right now. Can't wait for 3 in a few weeks.
All I gotta say to you, my friend, is downward fucking dog.
That's so weird. I love it, though.
Yeah, it is. And then Screamo Shaman, that's kind of amazing, with a $4.99 donation saying, I dropped Pokemon Go after Niantic partnered with Autism Speaks. Not surprised that they don't care about their player base. Longtime viewer, by the way. Oh, God, I don't think I realized they did that. Oh, no.
I missed it, so I'm sorry. What?
Yeah, what happened?
They partnered with Autism Speaks.
Yeah, they did.
Which...
that
sounds like it's a good thing.
Yeah, right mentality, wrong company. Yeah.
Oh, okay. just so everyone knows, it's obviously a good thing to partner with anybody who's into autism awareness and outreach. But Autism Speaks has been dogged by a lot of controversy. That autistic people will say, like, don't support these guys because, like, and I can tell you right now, I'm on their I'm on an autisticadvocacy.org website right now. Only 1% of Autism Speaks' budget goes toward the family service grants that are the organization's means of funding services. Also, Autism Speaks only has one autistic person out of a total of 28 individuals on its board of directors. 23 of those people represent major corporations. It's not a great outfit.
Yeah,
so
don't really support
them.
That said, I do want to put this out there real quick. Aquablast64 says in the YouTube chat that they did apologize about that, and they attempted. They basically said they were wrong to do that. So basically, they might have not realized.
That's
so
I didn't know.
Right mentality, wrong company.
This came up.
Yeah, maybe that's why I missed it, because they probably got. I'm sure they got hammered real quick, and that's probably what happened. What's going to happen here? So. Yeah. And Niantic's reversed things before, so we'll see if that happens. But yeah, with most of these episodes, there's a bit of bias to the person who picks out the news stories. But because there's not a lot of news this week, I decided to do what I call the throw Steve and Ash a bone double pack. Which is just basically a little story for both Steve and Ash. This is for you guys. First up, for Steve. And I don't know how you arrange this, Steve, but here we go. Suda51 hopes for a No More Heroes movie or TV show. And he says once they got really close, even casting an actor for Travis.
Man, I have to wonder who they cast. Because they were very clear that Travis Touchdown is modeled after Johnny Knoxville. Like
Right.
They made him after a real person. And so, I mean, did they just put out a call for people that look like Johnny? I mean, did they try to hire Johnny? But I'll be honest with you. No More Heroes would not work as a live action show at all.
I can't see that working.
It has to be an anime. Like, it has to be. Travis is basically an anime character. So, and plus, his voice is... Brandon, our good friend, says he could see Ryan Reynolds doing it. I could buy that after Deadpool.
I can see that.
I was gonna say he has to have a Deadpool vibe. Like, if it's not Ryan Reynolds, it needs to be someone else who could feasibly play Deadpool.
But can you imagine Ryan Reynolds as a nerd?
A little bit.
Yeah,
I mean,
I can.
nerdy culture is probably fine.
But not full like anime waifu.
That's true. Like when you go further down into sub levels of nerdery and you start talking about Ryan Reynolds as like a complete otaku, then I think I have a little more of a disconnect.
That's the thing. You imagine Travis is sort of this always down and out, kind of greasy, probably doesn't smell very good, kind of guy.
Yeah. The other big thing for me, and I know Ash will probably agree with me on this, is that you can't have Travis Touchdown without Robin Atkin Downes voicing him. Right, I mean, that voice is as much a part of Travis as the look. I mean, just like the moe and stuff like that. Like you can't have Travis without that weird kind of distinctive speech pattern that he's got.
I agree.
It would feel wrong. Like when, David Hayter got the axe and Kiefer Sutherland voiced Snake, it would be similarly like off-putting. I just can't picture anybody but Robin Atkin Downes voicing Travis. So it has to be animated. Plus, just the shit that happens in No More Heroes would not translate well to live action, in my opinion. Unless you did it like really Scott Pilgrim-ish.
Yeah. That's kind of crazy to me, because in this interview with IGN, he said his full words, according to Nintendo Everything, was, "I've actually had a lot of offers and proposals for a No More Heroes movie or TV show over the years, and as of yet, not a single one has come to fruition. No, wait, to be exact, one of them actually came really close, but ended up not working out. We actually had gone so far to decide on the actor to play the main character, but it never made it into production. But anyway, we get proposals like that all the time. So one of these days, I'm hoping we'll be able to make that a dream a reality and give everyone the No More Heroes movie or TV show that they want, maybe on Amazon Prime or Netflix or something." So I can't imagine a lot of people banging on his door like, we need to make a No More Heroes show. Like, the fact that he gets proposals all the time, like, does he? What's Nintendo getting?
I'll tell you what, I don't think he's lying about that. I'm sure he's had multiple offers. I don't know about all the time, but No More Heroes does, in the grand scheme of things, feels like it could lend itself well to a show. And I know Suda's the type of guy who would be all for that. I'm sure he wants No More Heroes to be this big thing. He's a very passionate developer.
Right.
I think No More Heroes lends itself better to a show than it does a movie. Just because I feel like something more episodic is a bit more fun, even if it's cheesy.
It fits the assassin vibe where you're going up the rankings. Going up the rankings in a movie isn't quite as fun.
Yeah. Again, unless it's like Scott Pilgrim, and then you spend the first half of the movie doing the build up for your first 3 fights, and then the latter 3 fights kind of get squeezed in at the very end just because you're running out of time. So I don't think he has a reason to lie about it. I'd give it a chance if they did a live action adaptation, but I think you're right. I think it needs to be animated, whether it's anime or American or even a 3D animation. I'd be fine for that too. But I kind of feel bad.
I think you'd have to sacrifice too much of No More Heroes' inherent weirdness, making it live action, and that weirdness is what makes No More Heroes so special, right? And I know, Steve, you're the best out of all of us to be able to say that, but I feel like you'd have to give up what makes it so unique and what makes it so weird, and then it's not No More Heroes anymore. So keep it animated. Think, if they're gonna do it at all.
An interesting thing they could do is just mess with the style constantly. Do it where like it's American animated, anime animated, live action, action figures, whatever. Do like Robot Chicken type stuff. Just change it up constantly where it's just the vibe is just all over the place.
See, now my dream
Anarchy
for a No More Heroes anime would be that Madhouse would do it. The same folks that did season 1 of One Punch Man.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That would be beautiful.
I love the idea of like each game being like a season of an anime, Travis going through the hero rankings, season 2 being No More Heroes 2 and the revenge plot in that, and God knows what the hell's going to happen in 3, but it looks wild.
Aliens, I guess.
Yeah, aliens and superhero rankings. So
superhero rankings, and apparently, according to Suda, he said that every one of the aliens on the superhero rankings are a Thanos level threat, which I'm like, okay.
Yeah, well, of course he's going to say something like that. No More Heroes 3 does have a completely different artistic vibe to it than the previous 2 games. I would say that No More Heroes 2 felt like an evolution of the style of 1, whereas 3 feels like they're definitely going for more of a Western comic book vibe with this one.
Yeah, I think that's just going to happen when you have different hardware, because the first 2 games were on the Wii. And I know they ported it to PlayStation 3, but like, it was just upscaling graphics that already existed, and I don't think they want to just do that for a Switch game. So because it's been a little while... Oh, no, they had Travis Strikes Again, but that had different art styles. But all this to say, I think they want to take advantage of a stronger piece of hardware, and they want to have more intensive graphics to help the game stand out more visually. Sure. And I think you nailed it with the comic book description. But I think they're also trying to replicate the Wii graphics, which to me doesn't look bad, but it does look a little weird. They're not trying to go for this realistic approach, which is evident, but it's not quite comic booky in the same way that I'm trying to think of a good example. In the same way that something like River City Girls looks, or even something like Mad World or something on the Wii was. It's just kind of this shiny game, but not like a stylized game type of thing. I don't know. It's hard for me to describe.
Sure,
I get you.
No, I got you.
Well, we'll see. I'm very curious for this game to come out so I can get Steve's opinions of whether it's a like true bliss or utter heartbreak.
Yeah, I'm really, really torn on. Normally by now I would have at least a good idea of what I think the game will be like. No More Heroes 3, I think every trailer shows something different. Yeah, like it's either really hype or really disappointing, and it's seldom in between. Hopefully we'll get code soon, and I'll be able to tell you privately. But
there you go.
Yeah,
not yet, unfortunately.
Well,
it does well. I want Suda to be happy, and he doesn't have much competition in the month of August. Everything else comes out after the fact, so I hope it does well.
End of August, like if we could get mid-August, that'd be even better. But apparently, not quite. But the other part of this is This is for Ash. This is just sort of, and this one's more weird than anything else. But in a recent Famitsu interview, Final Fantasy X's key developers were talking about what it was like bringing the game from conception to completion. And they knew they wanted to get the main character in the water. How were they going to do that? They weren't quite sure yet. And one of the initial plans was to have Tidus be a plumber. He was an underwater plumber.
That's so
apparently that comes from the game's writer Kazushige Nojima, and Nomura even drew illustrations as a plumber. But during the course of development, it was changed to a blitzball player, which was their made up sport because Katase, the producer, was like, we've never had an athlete before in Final Fantasy before. That'd be interesting to have that kind of aspect for it. And so that's when they went for Tidus being a ball player.
I have to look this up because I've never seen the
art.
illustration.
They don't have the illustration. They did not show the illustration.
I want to see it. I want to see Plumber Tidus. Like, I want to see what
too.
that looks like.
Like they actually asked, like, is the carryover from that design the fact that he kind of wears overalls?
Right, which I could see that.
Oh.
Yeah, like I could see his outfit, though, even the way it is now, kind of being a leftover from that version of the character. And I like the Tidus that we got. I like that he's a blitzball player, and I think that figures interestingly into his story in terms of his dad and trying to live up to his dad's legacy and stuff. But I don't think that it's necessarily like, it would have been a bad thing to make him an underwater plumber. It would have been an interesting vocation for a Final Fantasy protagonist, actually.
Yeah. It would have made a more salt of the earth, like Sid kind of character.
Yeah. So, like, it's interesting to think about what might have been, even though I'm not, like, I don't think it would have been worse to have him be that, and I'm fine with who we got. But it's an interesting, like, what might have been type thing. Although I have to say, as interesting as this is, my favorite part of this article has nothing to do with FF10. At the very end, the article says, but this still doesn't beat the best scrapped Square Enix concept ever. And I didn't know about this.
You never heard about this?
I did not hear about this.
My
Originally,
God.
one of the characters in Kingdom Hearts to use chainsaws. That's so weird.
I didn't know that either.
That. Yeah,
really? I thought this was so widely known, so I didn't even bring it up.
Funny.
Yeah,
maybe I heard it one time a long time ago and forgot. I don't know.
You clearly do not fall asleep watching YouTube documentaries often enough.
Yeah, like Sora originally had like a lion-ish design, and he had a chainsaw.
That I knew about. That I knew about. Okay, I knew about the lionish design, but I didn't know about the chainsaw. Weird.
A lion with a chainsaw compared to what we got, like, sounds just so angry. Like, I imagine.
Yeah.
Like Sora just kicking in someone's door and being like, "Fuck you," revving up a chainsaw. Like, that's
right.
Utterly terrible.
I like the theory that it wasn't the design that was the problem. It was just that, chainsaws are too loud. If we just have chainsaws going all the time, you wouldn't be able to hear all the music in the game. I like the idea that it had nothing to do with the design.
I would love to see King Mickey just whip out a chainsaw. I'd be like, damn, he came to fight. I'm out of here.
Yeah, I guess maybe I knew about this at one point and forgot. But man, what a weird concept that would have been. And as Stardust Whip says, so Tidus would have been anime Mario. I guess so. I guess that's kind of what we averted.
To a degree,
with Tidus becoming a blitzball player. But I just find that really interesting. I'd love to see that art. I really want to see.
Yeah, I wish they showed off the art, but I may have been lost of time. Who knows?
Yeah.
Rob Arman X with rip and tear until it's done. In the chat, which is
that's so good. That's so good.
That's my horrible Mickey impression, but I had to.
Because I'm me, and we were talking about a story that threw me a bone, and because I'm me, and because I have to do this, stop me if you know where I'm going with this. I did want to quickly mention that Mega Man, the franchise, has just reached 37 million sold as of July 29th, up from 36 million last year. And there it is, the Mega mention of the day. I got that out. I had to get that.
I threw you a bone. You had to like take another one. It's like, man, just never satisfied.
No, I had to.
I love the way
Derek's
just like,
there.
Cool.
I had to get it out there.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, I love Mega Man too, so I support it.
I enjoy
Hell
Mega
yeah.
Man, but I'm like, taking that extra time, man. So greedy.
Yep. All 30 seconds.
Oh, goodness. Well, before we end off this show, we have a few more super chats. First up is from Maddie. I got to say it that way because there's an exclamation at the end with a $2 donation saying, just saying hi and hope you're all doing well. I think we're all doing pretty well.
Yeah. Hi there, Maddie. I think I saw, if you're the Maddie I'm thinking of, that you joined our Patreon Discord today. So if that's
nice.
welcome to the
Hell yeah.
Patreon side of things.
Very cool.
Looking forward to seeing you in the community, if that is indeed you. And thank you for the donation.
Then Lizard81288 with a $2 donation themselves, saying, "Pure white lover bizarre jelly anime, please." Do you know that, Steve? I'm guessing that's the anime he watches.
Yes. Okay, sorry. I had to think about it for a minute because I read the posters in No More Heroes 1 and 2. Yes, that would be amazing if we actually got that anime. You fight some of the characters from it in No More Heroes 2. So
really?
Oh, that's cool.
Maybe someday. Who knows?
I need to play 2 at some point. I have it. I just haven't played it. Oh well. Jacob Tucker with a $5 donation saying, "Rooster Teeth, please make a death battle of Deadpool versus Travis Touchdown."
Ooh, that would be really cool.
That would be pretty hype. I'd watch that.
That or Travis versus like a Star Wars character, because lightsabers.
That's true.
Or another character has a rip-off lightsaber.
Well, now with the Death Glove, he technically has something equivalent to Force powers too. So that would be a pretty good fight, like Travis versus a Jedi.
Yeah,
is there a fourth wall-breaking character in Star Wars? Because that would be the person he has to fight.
True.
I don't know.
I'm going to put you on the spot, Steve. Who would win? Travis or Deadpool?
Oh, man. Before Travis Strikes Again, I would have said Deadpool. But after how crazy Travis Strikes Again gets toward the end, I'm going to go ahead and say Travis would take it.
All right.
Wow.
All right. You heard it here first, folks.
I'm going to see this whole Travis Strikes Again because I'm so behind on the No More Heroes lore.
Yeah.
Anyway, Screamo Shaman with a $2.99 donation super chat. Thank you so much. Saying, "I'm glad you enjoyed my username, Ash."
I do love that name, Screamo Shaman. That is fantastic. And yes, thank you so much for the donation and for that awesome username that we get to see.
Mm-hmm. And then Diamond Death with a $2 donation as well, saying, "LOL, key chain." I saw what you did there. Vroom vroom.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for all those super chats. And with that, I sought to make this a lean, mean episode, and I think I accomplished that. So with that, we have covered all the major headlines from today's news. But before we sign off, Yoshiller, thank you so much once again for joining us. Sorry for the lack of Nintendo news other than Niantic ripping your heart out.
No, it's okay. We had No More Heroes news too, so that's kind of like Nintendo. No, it's fine. Thanks for having me on. I talk about things other than Nintendo. I just play Nintendo. But either way, it was an honor to be back on here. I'm flattered. I love chatting with you guys. Thank you all so much.
Where can everybody find you at?
My YouTube channel is just called Yoshiller, Yoshi Ller, and then on Twitter, I am not Yoshiller. I am Real Yoshiller. I am working hard to either get verified or to either get the Twitter handle, twitter.com/Yoshiller. But otherwise, it's twitter.com/Real Yoshiller, youtube.com/Yoshiller. And I do videos every single day, and I also edit for a fair share of other creators, so you might see my name pop up every once in a while.
That is true.
Nice.
That is true. See if you can find him. Head out to YouTube and search.
Where's Yoshiller? Find him.
Yoshiller, go.
There you go. Find him. I found this isn't the real Yoshiller. I got pink Yoshiller. Dang it.
Hey, I found
one. I'm sorry.
I found Yoshiller in the chat saying, "Where's Mega Man X9?" A question I very much agree with.
Yeah, where is it? I don't care if it's 2D or if it's 3D. I just want it.
Same, man. Same.
But of course, we also have to give a very special thanks to all of our patrons, big and small. You make this, make us laugh all the time. We appreciate all your support. It is fantastic to have you all here. And of course, an extra special thank you to our patrons, because this show just simply would not be possible without all of you. So thank you so much. And of course, a massive thank you to our executive producers and above. And that includes Jared Edinger, Brandon Bovia, Rob Arman X, Itiono Ben, Dan Entwistle, Dennis J, Z Patty, Hyrule Hermit, Sky Blue Flames, Adam O'Sullivan, It's ATM, Octopuppet, Richard Herrera, Michael Phone, Echo Carroll, The D-Pad, Vesmio, Waffle King, Kitty Kong Facts, Angel Martinez, Vedran Hotek, 112, John, Joshua Hunter, Evernight Studio, Benny Yao, Sapphire, Azran127, Pagrama, Kenrule09, Jake Pelka, Geller, Joseph Rutkin, Charlie Bird, Geeky Griffin, Lucky Wonderfish, Kyle, Top Dog 23100, Young Ben Kenobi, Doug Shomix, Andrew Medeiros, Orem M, Brady Power, Sakuragi, Becca, Rockstacat, Fizzy Wighoid, Critmonger, The Legend of Groose, Eddie B, Kai Ed, Kit Fisto, West Egg, Deanith, Coda, Michael McCall, Matthew Wong, Goron Amber, Straight Lace, Justin Matthews, Hoobie, Too Much Spaghetti, Mega Conrad, Ascaron 809, Kane, Captain Finlandia, 60 Minutes and 60 Seconds, Christopher Masterson, Spicy Pandotter, The Game Orb, Dano the Artist, Grantles, Ravelox, Synchro Lord, Brainchild, Rosa Bowling,
Hi, Mom.
Kotar Peck, Scuff196, Skull Kid Tiger, AJB Cool, Blizzica, Jason Uloa, Jaden Buck, Phantom Project, Cystic Warrior 29, Derek, Ray Clausen Jr., Nathan the Voice Actor, Hulkamaniac 55, Chibi J, Bongo Lover, Mumbling Yeti, and Cameron Sharp. Thank you all so much for the support. Really means the world. And remember that you too can become a patron over at patreon.com/dvgaming, where you can get access to our exclusive post show and ad-free content for as little as $5 a month. Thank you all so much for watching. And if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to Good Vibes Gaming for more good times like these. Until next time, good night and good vibes.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.